whoever's watching probably doesn't see the gnat, so they probably think.
I know. They're like, how much beer and jitter and mushrooms have these people had?
Man, those are some good mushrooms.
We're talking from mushrooms to flies that you people can't even see.
Yeah, we're twitching out and waving our hands.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
they're probably like, and if you saw like one of those people in the street, you'd be like, don't stand near that stranger. It's Deb. It's Happy Hour with Deb. And today I have my very new friend, CJ Garton. Welcome to Happy Hour.
Hey, my pleasure, darling.
I can tell when you walked in, I'm like, this man knows some shit about country music.
I grew up country, so I guess that's the first step to achieving that.
Yeah, your resume is impressive. You started in Oklahoma, born and raised.
Yep.
A family of music, or?
You know, it was a family of cowboys and outlaws who happen to make music.
I'm Irish, sir. We have outlaws in our family too.
Yeah. I tell people I'm half cowboy and half Indian, so I just get drunk and shoot it myself.
That's beautiful. I mean, it's your gun. You can do whatever you want with it, right?
Exactly.
It's your constitutional right to do whatever you want.
It's even harder when you got a bow.
Right, exactly. I know. Well, it's hunting season in the Pocono Mountains, and it just went to guns, but it was bow for a long time. And I know I don't look the kind of chick that could, like, I learned how to skin a deer and cut the meat. And
for me, I learned a lot about life through hunting in the woods, and probably just the ethics of working and growing up on a ranch. You know, as a kid, I think a lot of kids get the chance to just play, goof off, things like that. My playtime was
not farm working kids, not ranch kids. They don't.
Yeah, my playtime when I could sneak away was hunting and fishing. That was a passion, just in the woods.
Yeah,
you know, it didn't matter if I was out finding arrowheads in the creek or I was chasing, you know, frog gigging, whatever. But it was, for me, that's what I knew. I didn't really know social current events, things like that.
Well, quite honestly, you did yourself a favor.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've looked around lately, but it sucks.
It does. It does.
It's definitely not.
Well, and that's why we have such a great team of people that we work with, because it's just really hard for me to get online and be excited. I love meeting the people out there and talking and stuff like that. I love doing these podcasts because it gives me a chance to just be me.
Absolutely.
And there's such a disconnect with the online approach as an artist, and it's like texting. Like
I know. You don't know how to read it.
Exactly.
Because it's got no personalization.
Yeah,
You're like,
and I grew up, I'm the type of guy who still picks up the phone and calls.
Same.
You know?
Same, all the time. I think that it's kind of, we've disconnected as humans, especially the younger generation. Like, nobody answers their damn phone. Nobody, like, it's absurd.
No, it drives me nuts because someone will text me and I'll be driving or something, like, I'll just call them.
Just call them.
And then I call them and
they don't pick up.
They don't pick up. I'm like, man, come on, bro.
Right, I know.
I
feel
text you this
as I'm driving. Right.
Soliloquy here.
Right. You know, I think there's a huge disconnect with that too, as well as, like, I feel like the younger generation kind of hides behind it. They're not accountable because you're not actually speaking to them or shaking hands or. Everything is through some form of platform or text.
Almost like a social awkwardness.
Totally.
You know, it's like they don't know. Like, I can see people in a room sitting next to each other, all texting and looking at their phones, and they're literally talking to each other, but they're not looking up. They're not communicating. And for me, that's what country music, the kind of country music that I make, emulates. It emulates a time when people connected, a time where stories were told.
Yeah.
And you know. Someone asked me the other day that was in the business, they're like, you know, what do you sell? Like, who are you as an artist? I said, well, I don't sell anything. I said, obviously, we're a product if we're a name, a brand. But I said, I think for me, it's memories.
Amen.
Because the biggest compliments I get is when I go online.
I was just going to ask you, what's your greatest compliment?
Is when people say how this reminds them or takes them back to riding Grandpa's truck around the farm.
Wow.
Or this is me and my wife's wedding song. She's been gone now for 5 years.
That's earth. Like, you can't put a dollar amount on that, on somebody saying that to you.
And it's crazy because, you know, I write songs, I write a lot of music for a lot of artists.
Yeah.
But I'm known for, you know, singing songs that people don't remember. Like the old Randy Travis, Forever and Ever Amen.
Yeah.
Old Habits was like one of our first ones that blew up.
Yeah.
And that stuff's gone viral. because people resonate with that. It reminds them of what radio used to sound
That's what
like.
country music should be.
Well,
it's a good
and-
story and a good person that you could trust. And
Yeah. I think there's two kinds of music in life. There's music for the times, and there's timeless music.
absolutely.
And I want to make timeless music. I want to make songs that resonate, that are healing, and even if they're a party honky tonk song, they still
Right.
remind you of a moment. They
Yeah.
still remind you of this little piece of your past that just is a gem.
And in this kind of world right now, I think, being the age I am at, we all have, you hear a song on the radio, or you're sitting in a bar and you hear a song, and it just instantly brings you to the moment.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And we all have a fight song that's, we
Yeah.
all have a sad song that lifts us up, and
Yeah.
it's crazy. How long you been in this industry?
So, I've been making music since the day I was born.
Wow.
It's funny because there's one of our first CDs or whatever. If you look on the
I know, isn't
inside
it
of
crazy? Now it's
yeah.
like how many streams? I'm like, you used to have to
Yeah.
buy music, and it's
If you look at it on the, I think the center or the back, I can't remember, but it opens up and it's got me as a baby in a diaper, and with the guitar laying next to me.
Oh
and
my
going like
gosh.
this. My parents said that I would harmonize before I could talk
wow.
to the radio
Wow.
whenever it's on.
It's in your blood.
With
It's
them
in your
singing.
DNA.
Yeah, and I started writing. It's how I understood life.
Yeah.
It was basically my way of understanding life, like
Yeah.
therapy for me. So like
Yeah.
whenever I couldn't comprehend something going on around me, I related that into music. That was
Wow.
my way of processing it
Yeah.
and being okay with it.
Absolutely.
Because,
That's
you know,
beautiful.
a lot of ways as a kid, things are not okay.
100%.
And you want to try to find another way to see that. And I think
Absolutely.
music allowed me to find a second or third person view of what was occurring.
That's
outside of
beautiful.
me.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Who was your inspiration?
My dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad. He's no longer with us, but he sang, and he never did it professionally. Like they'd play little honky tonks. They're kind of the Red Dirt royalty.
Yeah.
He played with the Skinner Brothers. Skinner Brothers played with Garth before Garth moved
Yeah.
here, and then they turned Garth down to come back to Nashville.
Right. Yeah.
And,
Are you Nashville local now?
Yeah,
Okay.
I spend time here, and we also still have our cattle ranch.
Okay, that's
And so,
amazing.
Yeah, so I get the chance to do both, but my kids call Nashville home.
Called Nashville. How old are
Yeah.
your children?
I have an 11-year-old and a 20-year-old.
What?
Yeah, I
You got
started-
still a little one to raise and one
Yeah,
going out.
yeah.
What's your
We-
20-year-old do?
Well, he goes to college right now, and he makes cotton candy at the mall and gets
Hold up.
paid crazy good. They
Ru-
make
does
like
he really? That's
well,
impressive.
They make emojis, like in characters. They were making like Spider-Man and stuff like that, but I guess legalities they
From the
they have to
cotton
do.
candy?
Yeah, it's
I'm
pretty
so
crazy.
impressed by that.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
You have to send me a picture of
I
that.
will
That's
totally do that.
incredible.
Yeah,
What's he going to college
absolutely.
for?
Well, I don't think he knows yet.
Dude, I don't know what I'm doing.
I told him because he's very artistic like us.
Yeah.
But he
Got runs in the
he
blood.
has this tendency to like when he does something he loves and that has a passion. If he starts doing it for money, it kind of kills his enthusiasm. Like when he was like 11 years old, he made a music video for me,
Aw.
a lyric video. And it was the very first one he ever did. He taught himself code.
11,
when
11 years old.
Whenever he was like 6 or something, he was doing stop motion on a
Wow.
dry erase board and making videos on his phone.
That's
By the time he was like
incredible.
8, he taught himself code.
What?
and was
He's
coding and
very
stuff.
smart.
Yeah, very smart kid, very intellectual, but had a lot of empathy.
I
you know?
love that. You
Uh,
did a good job.
so,
if you raised a
yeah.
child with
Well, I
empathy
think
in
that-
this world,
I
you
think that's mostly mama.
can.
probably.
Well, I don't know. I always say that like good people come from other good people.
Yeah.
You know, so it's very hard to teach empathy, so
It is.
you
It
did an amazing job.
Yeah, and I taught him life about hunting and fishing and stuff like that, and he does it. He understands the difference, and he respects life.
Right.
But he also, we've got, 2 dogs, 4 cats, and a wallaby. You know,
Oh,
we
you
have an
have a wallaby.
We have an albino wallaby
Oh,
named
what's
Russell.
what's the wallaby's name?
Russell.
Russell is
Yeah.
a great name
Yeah, and he's
for a wallaby.
albino, so he's got pink eyes.
Oh
and
my gosh.
He's solid white.
How long do they live?
About 18, 20 years.
Oh, longer than
Yeah.
dogs.
Yeah.
That's like a good marriage. Like
Yeah,
20,
it
20
is.
years.
It all depends on how nice everybody is.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Right. You don't need a lawyer to break up with a wallaby.
No, you don't.
You don't need to hire a law firm for that.
You just let him go, man. White fang him.
That's
Like, go,
that's great.
Be free.
I mean, I think if you're on a ranch, it is mandatory to have dogs, and you know.
Well, this is Nashville.
Oh, here in Nashville.
Yeah, I didn't even mention all the animals.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
And what was the transition like moving here full time?
You know, I was in the military, so I got to
Thank
get
you
out.
for your service to this beautiful country.
Well, this country deserves a lot.
They
of it
totally
because,
do.
Without what soldiers and veterans and those folks do and the sacrifice they make at such
Yep.
a young age, we couldn't be doing what we do. We
Amen.
couldn't be the country we are.
Yeah,
you
we
know?
could not. And I think we don't give enough. I am a coach and a therapist, and I work a lot with PTSD and stored trauma and regaining your life. I work with a lot of military, both active and, retired. And I don't think that the regular world knows that we couldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for somebody who was willing to lay their life. What branch were you in?
I was in the Navy.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Me and my brother went in. He caught up after me after I got out of boot camp and stuff. And he actually works for the VA now.
Wow.
Before he worked for TSA for a period of time.
Yeah.
And I always knew I was going to make music. The military thing was, honestly, it was one of those situations where I just kind of wanted to get out and grow up a little bit, maybe save a little bit of money.
Right.
I don't know if any of that actually happened.
Yeah.
But I'm very grateful.
Don't look backwards now. Don't look back. It's good to get a VA loan. It's good for,
Yeah, it is. It is. And
in other countries, men mandatorily have to serve.
Well, yeah, you do, and I know a lot of places you have to, and they've changed some of that. But I think it's good because at 18, I don't think you're thoroughly an adult. I mean, I felt like my whole 20s I wasn't an adult.
Right. Oh, I don't feel like an adult now.
Yeah, I don't. It's
at
a
all.
mentality. It's a mental
It totally
thing.
is.
But I think there's a difference between chaos and controlled chaos.
Absolutely. 100%.
I think we just get smarter about the decisions we make.
Right.
And live life a little
or
easier.
we've put our hand on that stove and it's burnt like hell, so we know don't touch that shit again.
Don't do that again.
Don't you big Demi, don't do that again.
Yeah.
And you try and instill that in your children, but like everybody's got it. They got to touch it to know. I think as a parent, you're so like, I'm going to tell you that's going to suck, but they got to learn it their way.
Well, they do. And it's so funny because I'm talking to my kids and I tell them, hey, don't do that. And then they do that. And I'm like, I think it's just the human nature.
Totally. It's human nature. Absolutely.
On your own. And honestly, my biggest failures are my greatest success.
Absolutely.
Because like I said, the question you asked, I joined the military and what it was like moving here. Well, it was just another trip.
Yeah.
Because I traveled a lot. I was always kind of that road dog, even as a kid.
Yeah.
My dad, and then we'd make a random, hey, let's go.
Well, that's great because you weren't going to be shell shocked. Then once bang,
I love travel.
Me too.
And then
I
married my wife who loves to stay home.
And
she plays fiddle and sings too.
She does.
So
wow.
we're dragging her out of the house when we go. It's like it's time to leave. It's time to leave.
My gosh.
But it's so funny that you attract opposites and things like that.
Yeah. My husband same. Totally. He's completely. I'm just a
social butterfly.
Social butterfly, and I love humans, and I am. I'm Susie talks a lot, and he's. Although I have to tell you, we live outside of Philadelphia, in one of the suburbs. And we bought a house a little over a year ago. And since I've been in that house, in this different house, I've kind of become the homegirl. He's like, Saturday night, he's like, we need to go out to dinner. I'm like, we have to get out of sweatpants?
Yeah. Well, it's nice just to relax. I mean, us that go so much, to be home is great.
It's a blessing.
And I like watching sports or football anyway.
Yeah. Who's your team?
All of them. But I'm a Titans fan. And I know.
Sir, I am sorry. They have had a rough.
I know. But you know what, though? I got to look at it this way. Tom Brady would never have been Tom Brady without a great core around him.
Amen.
And I think Cam Ward has a great opportunity, but they're not investing in the offensive line. They're not investing in star talent around him. I mean, they're buying guys that are veterans that have maybe have a year or two left.
Right.
Overpaying them.
You can't build a Super Bowl winning team from that.
Don't give me all these quarterbacks that are good or possibly great and then not protect them.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
I just don't agree with that.
Yeah,
And
me
so
neither. I think
they're cutting corners trying to find a team that works with what they're wanting to do.
I think when you do that, you sacrifice the win today for the win down the future.
Exactly.
You can't
want it
build a
now.
Super Bowl.
Yeah. Everybody wants instant gratification.
That's life. That's just totally life. I think when
Yeah.
you are old enough to realize that, you're like, that shit is not happening. Like, you have to be patient. Greatness comes with patience.
Well, it's crazy because my team, I love the Houston Oilers. Because I grew up, I was not a Cowboys fan.
Thank God, sir.
And we don't have a Oklahoma team, so our team is OU for college.
Yeah,
and stuff. And so we're go OU right
now.
Go
OU.
Anywhere. But when I moved here, it was funny because after I got out of the Navy, I went and sold cars for like 1 month. I'm like, what can I do?
God, what's that like?
Some money.
Right.
Quick. And then I can, because I bought a school bus.
So I could start getting touring, right?
I bought a school bus at the tractor auction off my grandpa for $800. The full-size school bus, took half of it out and put like a living quarters in it.
That's awesome.
With a keg.
Keg. We're not going anywhere without cold beer.
Well, absolutely. And if I wasn't driving, I could still drink, from what I understand.
Right, absolutely.
So it took it, so it was one of those things. Well, I met a guy who just signed a contract with the Titans. He was one of their offensive linemen.
Wow.
Well, he was there buying his brother and him a brand new Yukon loaded out. That was one of my clients. And so I sold them 2 matching Yukons, and it's a thing called a mini in car sales, to where if you sell and give someone a great deal, make no money off of it, they pay you a mini, which is like a couple $100 back then.
Right.
Well, this guy didn't care. He's like, dude, just charge me whatever sticker is. Sack him out. I want you to make money too. He goes, because I got paid. And then
that's what a beautiful human.
I was like, man, so it was awesome. So I was able to leave with half of that. My grandma was struggling at the time, so I gave her half of that.
Aww.
And gave her what I got, out of the military. And then whenever I left with a couple $1,000s in my pocket. Which I thought, okay, I can handle this.
That's
and
right.
So,
Little money and a dream will get you a long way. And you grew up on a ranch. Like, you know what it's like to struggle.
Yeah.
Like, you're not, this generation's very bougie.
Yeah.
They're addicted to their coffees and and I'm like, we're from the generation of rubbing it.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, it's like $7 for coffee. And me, I was like, 4 or 5 G.I. Joes. I was like, come on, man.
Right.
That's a whole box of fishing lures.
Absolutely. And, it is. It's so funny. Ridiculous. And now even that age, even these younger artists, like, I'm like, that's an expensive habit to have a coffee habit.
It is. But the thing is, though, is people want to feel good. They want what they want.
Absolutely.
For me, it's funny because I'm not a big coffee guy, but I was doing coffee. And I just got a habit of kind of doing it in the morning.
Right.
But I just didn't still care too much for the jitters and the stuff.
Yeah.
I don't do any caffeine at all.
Oh,
I don't drink,
shut up.
I don't drink.
You don't
pop.
have to wake up and power down some Diet Coke
no.
Zero?
I don't drink pop.
Yeah.
I haven't drank pop since I was like 12 years old.
Wow.
I used to mix a little whiskey and Coke, but I don't drink whiskey anymore. So
you might as well give up the Coke. It's full of sugar.
Yeah, so I don't do any pop. I don't do energy drinks.
Yeah, I don't do that. But my morning, bang, is a Diet Coke.
Yeah, so I found this mushroom coffee online because
I love mushroom coffee.
I love it. It tastes like chocolate
and
coffee.
it's so people don't
so good for you.
People don't think that mushrooms are fabulous. Mushrooms are fabulous in every single way.
I don't get the jitters either anymore.
Yep.
Like coffee,
and
since I don't do caffeine.
It's so good for your cognitive health, and it's so good for memory and focus and clarity. So many people with ADHD are drinking the mushroom coffee because it's a natural way instead of chemically altering these beans to be. And I am a huge proponent of mushroom coffee.
Yeah, like with the reishi, the turkey's tail, because we used to use all these for like tinctures and things, and that I grew up, Native American history and stuff, and learning about how to forage and what's out there,
right?
What's available,
right?
That big pharma don't want you to know about,
right? Absolutely, yeah. So, I think it has such amazing healing properties and. It's got a bad stim in the world because we think that everybody that will use it is automatically using some kind of illegal drug. I feel the same way about marijuana.
Well, it's funny because the first time every time I meet somebody and they find out that I hunt mushrooms or I look for mushrooms,
right,
the very first place they go to is the psychedelics.
Right.
They're like, oh man, yeah, bro. And I'm
right.
like, no,
I know.
you know,
Like, we're not going to trip together, sir.
I do know what those are, and I do know that there is actually productive things for that. It's resetting the brain and things like, you know. But also, there's like 5-star delicacy mushrooms out
Absolutely.
there. Like your morels, your lion's mane, your chicken in the woods, your hen in the woods.
The
like
lion's mane is amazing. You know, and a good coffee regimen with mushrooms is like a microdose.
Oh, I love it. Well, my wife likes it better too because I got me one.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there, next thing you know, she's like, ooh, this is like what I already, because it tastes like coffee kinda, but it tastes like chocolate.
Tastes like chocolate,
natural chocolate. And she's like, this is what I do in my coffee anyways. I put chocolate in it.
You're putting all that, right.
Like, so
Amen.
now I can just do this.
Yeah.
So
and
we cut out the coffee,
the
and now we're
focus,
doing mushroom coffee.
Oh, that's
every day.
awesome. And you know, the focus for an artist or for somebody who's on the road like you are, the clarity, the creativity.
Without the jitters.
Without the jitters. And without paying $35 for a round of coffee drinks.
Well, and you got to look at it this way, because I told my brother, I was like, it's $20 for the bag of coffee. But there's 30 doses. There's 30 packs. So it's like buying 30 coffees.
Yeah, it's less than $1.
I'm spending $27 or $30 doing that.
Right.
So I get a month's worth of coffee now for $20. I'm saving money and I'm doing healthier.
And you're doing. And how do you feel on it? Do you feel like
great.
it's?
I did this morning.
That's right.
And
it's amazing.
And I do feel like energized a little bit. It does have a very minuscule amount of caffeine. I think the one that I buy has like 25 milligrams.
Yeah, it's very low in caffeine.
Yeah,
Bless you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so I know and it has so many medicinal, you know, I work with some veterans and stuff, and there's so many medicinal, like, we've got to get out of, like, people just labeling things and just thinking it's bad.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of, like, eating how I grew up. You know, we have a garden. We have friends who have gardens who are
farm
blessed with
to table.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, like, it's sad. A lot of folks don't realize this, but the word organic had to be created because our food in the U.S. is so overprocessed. We had to find a place for natural food.
Absolutely. You know, I'm hoping it's changing. Like, I'm hoping people are starting to realize that you really are what you pump into your body, and you're only going to be able to perform to the level of the quality of that.
Absolutely.
And sleeping and everything. You're just general health. And we're just a kind of disposable society. Like, and it's another thing with, like, the younger generation. Like, they don't eat at home. They don't sit down. There's something so amazing about a hard day's work and a good meal at the end of the day.
There is. Well, and working hard through the day, so when you sit down, you feel accomplished. I mean, you're exhausted, obviously.
Right.
Because a lot of people, it's like when we get on the road, there's things that people don't see on our side of the industry. They're like, man, you guys got it made. You know, you guys get out there and you're throwing down, you're partying, you get paid to play music. I got to work for a living. I'm like, man, I hate to break this to you.
That's what I'm doing too.
This is probably the hardest job
you could ever have, right?
Because
the grind for artists is incredible.
Well, yeah, because I know when I wake up at a job, say if I had, like in the military, or I wake up at the ranch,
right?
I have a curriculum. I know what I need to do.
Absolutely.
And I know what the accomplishments are and the rewards.
Right. Absolutely. That's such a beautiful way to phrase it.
Yeah.
You know your work is going to give you these rewards.
Yeah. And in the music industry, it's not. The music industry is a lottery ticket, and no matter how many times you play, you're working at it, you're achieving an accomplishment, you're making relationships, you're always shaking and howdy, and you're always finding another way to stay ahead of the game. And then as the music industry evolves and changes, you have to evolve with it and understand what's going on so you can maintain your name, your success, and where you're headed.
Yeah.
And so, but it's so volatile because none of these are guarantees.
Amen.
This is one of the very few
and there's
industries.
no HR, and there's no sick pay, and there's no 401k.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you have to be schooled to work.
Yeah. And then you have AI thrown in on top of that, and now you're competing with something.
What's
that's
your
not
thought
even
on
real.
that? On the AI?
My personal opinion is I think to have an AI artist is BS.
Me too.
And I think it's ridiculous. I see artists out there that have 300,000 or 400,000 followers because fans don't even know about AI that aren't in the business.
Right.
And they're praising something that's digitized. It's a copy of a real artist. All they're doing is mimicking another artist. That's how they came up with those samples.
Right.
But for me, like, we use Suno for when we're writing songs, but we put our song in. it's literally our song. It just gives us a demo scale quality.
Absolutely,
interpretation.
absolutely.
So
Like
if
I
you
think
go
it
in the
has some really
studio-
amazing things,
Yeah,
but
so-
true artistry is
Yeah,
true artistry.
exactly, 'cause we're
I brought
making
these two gnats flying around.
Did
These
you?
suckers came from
Fruit
Philadelphia.
flies?
I'm not even kidding you.
I
I
know.
honestly think they came from Philly. They've
That-
been following me
They
around all
love-
day.
They love the mic area.
I
too.
swear to it is
always-
so true. I'm like every time I'm shooting it, I shot the
I'm glad-
CRS last year, and I swear to God, there was one like I'm like, what? Somebody killed this
Well,
butterfly? Like
I'm-
it's ridiculous.
I'm glad you mentioned that though, because whoever's watching probably doesn't see the gnats, so they probably think.
I know. They're
they
like,
probably think
how much beer
they
and
probably
jitter
think we
and
just got
mushrooms
some-
have these people
they're
had?
"Man, those are some good mushrooms.
We're talking from mushrooms to flies that you people can't even see.
Yeah, we're twitching out and waving our hands.
Yeah, I
They're like,
know.
"What
They're
the
probably
heck is
like,
going
you,
on
and if
right
you
now?"
saw like one of those people in the street, you'd be like, don't stand near that stranger. You tell
Yeah,
your kids, like,
yeah,
don't get near
yeah,
that stranger.
Yeah, that guy's talking to himself, man. Don't do that.
I know.
Yeah.
Listen, you're not even talented unless you can talk to yourself
all the time.
all
the time.
day long. I'm
It's
like,
only-
Deb, go here, Deb. Like literally.
You should only worry when you start answering yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so-
Right. I mean, I think talking
But-
to yourself is mandatory.
But yeah, it's like when thinking that way about the business, segueing back to it is, it's got to be a passion. It's gotta
Totally.
be a love. Because for me, like when I moved here, people were like, "What's your backup plan?" And I'm like,
We don't have a
I don't
backup
have a
plan.
backup plan.
I've
And that's
asked
not
artists
being-
that, and I'm like, "What's the plan B?"
Yeah.
They're like, "There's," and
There-
that's how I
yeah,
know
there is
they're
no
in this
plan
to
B.
win this. There's no plan
Yeah,
B.
because you're going to live and die doing this, no matter how successful or how unsuccessful you are at it, because it's who you are, it's your passion, it's your love.
Absolutely.
And little rewards every day are an attaboy, and it feels great. Like you'll-
Attaboy, I love that. It's true.
You'll get like an attaboy, like where you'll get a song cut by an artist. That feels great.
Feels amazing.
But it only feels amazing for a minute.
Right, because
then-
their next one's coming out.
Yeah, well, and then you got to stay on the ground and grinding.
Absolutely. So
Because
it's a
you can't-
grind.
You can't sit there and relish in your success, what you're doing.
Yeah, because there's another
it's
one
only
right
gonna be- it's
behind
fleeting.
you.
Exactly.
Right.
And
I
you have
know.
to
My
keep
husband's
doing
like,
that.
"Why do you shoot like that many?" I'm like, "Because my competition's watching."
Yeah.
And there's only so many, you
Well,
know?
yeah,
There's
yeah,
only so
it's-
many that get used,
yeah,
you know? There's only
and-
so many that get, and you do,
Yeah,
you
and-
pour, you grind it out. But I think, honestly, we grew up in a generation where you had to grind it out.
You do. And
You
I
know?
mean, I love it. I love it. But it's so funny because we talked about sports earlier. It's such a well drawn out thing that's simple. I mean, it's a lot of hard work. I don't want
Absolutely.
I don't want to devalue what occurs, but you have a direction and there's still reward. Like you go to college, you get you work your butt off in school to
Absolutely.
get a place on the team.
Absolutely.
Then you go to college, then you keep your grades up. You get a place on the team, and then you go into the draft. You instantly get signed
Yeah.
to a multi-million-dollar
Yeah,
deal that can change
right.
your life.
Absolutely.
Music's very similar. You can change your life, but there's no path of like, hey, you're great at this.
Right.
Here you go. You
Yeah,
you
that's
can be
it.
great.
Here's your greatness pass for
Yeah,
the
you could be
universe, you know?
great
There's
at-
no participation
Yeah.
trophy.
No, you don't get a purple ribbon in this sport.
I would give you a purple ribbon
Thank
if I
you, I
had one.
appreciate that.
I'll send you one. I'll send you a
thank
purple
you,
ribbon
thank
just
you.
because I'm like, you know what, you're cool.
Absolutely.
We should send you one. So, what was your first thought when I told you I was a Philadelphia Eagles fan?
Oh, I apologize to you. It's okay.
Were you like, I'm still gonna do this wacko's job?
Like, it's like, dear baby Jesus.
I know.
But
I can tell
you
you.
know what though? You guys are winning. You're just winning really ugly right now.
It blows my
It's ugly
mind that
wins.
we are the Super Bowl champions. We dominate, and
Well,
you
you're
know,
still number one also in your
in our division,
in your
we
division.
are.
You're
But I
like,
mean,
what,
we
8,
got
9 or
spanked
something,
by
right?
the
7.
Giants.
Yeah.
You
But
know-
that was when Dart and Scatterboo was playing, right?
Yeah.
And those guys, when those guys came on as rookies, there was a fire about that team that came to life. And the moment Scatterboo
I haven't
got
seen the Giants
injured-
good since like what's the guy that does the morning show?
Yeah.
He's Giants.
It's
Big,
Eli Manning.
Not Eli Manning. He's like does a morning show. It'll come to me with the gap between his
Oh,
teeth.
I know what you're talking about.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And I swear that's the last time I remember that. I
Yeah.
grew up in football, a football family. We lived and breathed
Yeah.
college football, professional
Yeah,
football.
Michael, shit.
Strahan.
Yeah, Strahan.
Michael
Yeah,
Strahan.
yeah,
See,
yeah.
you put some mushrooms and beer together. We could run the world if we had to right now.
I know, that's right.
It's magic happening,
Yeah.
viewers. There's magic happening here. But it's so funny because Philadelphia was notoriously known for being bad for a very the Buddy Ryan era.
Yeah.
If you survive the Buddy Ryan era, you're fine. And then they were so dominating. They're winning, but they're not dominating. And they have to win tonight. It's mandatory.
Well,
we got beat.
I'm going to be real honest about my opinion, and strictly only my opinion. I don't know anything, but I've got a few ideas.
Yeah.
And I just
you know a lot. You've been around some time.
I just don't think that they're a good enough team to win.
I don't think they are either.
I think they can win games. I think they can win a division. I think they can compete.
Yeah.
But
they're not going to win another Super Bowl.
Going into playoffs, they're out.
Yeah.
They're just not going to.
This year, definitely. This was the few years ago. We went 10-0, and then tanked for the whole rest of the season.
And then like A.J. Brown and the internal conflict you guys are having, stuff like that. I know this is football talk. That creates a problem in the
totally
room. Because if you're needing to feed somebody who's whining about not getting enough touches,
and that's
you're
what I said.
ignoring the
I'm
rest
like,
of the team.
You're paid a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm paid to be here, you're paid to be in a certain place, and then you're gonna get in a locker room and talk smack about your teammates. And what kind of example? Like athletes and artists, they're somebody's hero. You're somebody's you are somebody's idol.
And that's my thing. Like you'll never see anything negative posted from us on social media.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It doesn't mean that our life is just one big beautiful scenario.
Right.
We all have struggles. We all have things
We're
to deal with.
humans.
We all have personal issues. We all have loss of family. We all have things. But do I need to be another negative piece online?
No.
Because people do look up to us, kids.
Somebody called me
adults.
a Karen last week on social media.
Well,
I know. I'm like,
you know
clearly
what?
you don't know me.
People accuse me of being AI.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you handle your own social media? You have a team that does it?
I have a wonderful team that helps me. I do all the content. So everything you guys see out there is actually me. It is actually where I come from. I'm not faking. I'm not singing. I'm not lip syncing over stuff. I'm singing.
You're probably
live
one of the
in
most real
studio.
I've had some incredible guys, but you're a very real human being.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You really are.
But it's one of those situations where like I don't have time to post on 7 different things after I've made all this content. I'm making music in the studio. I'm producing. I'm raising my kids.
You're
my
writing. You're a husband. You're somebody's dad.
Yeah, exactly. And so they get the number one most important part of my time.
Right.
And after that, I dedicate everything else to what we're trying to accomplish out there. And so it's kind of an ebb and flow thing. So I have a team, Mitch and Hope. They got Clutch Socials. They've been doing it.
Clutch Social is the jam. If you have a media team in Nashville, if you need media, you go to Clutch Social.
Absolutely, they're good folks, and
they're wonderful folks.
And
what you see is what you get. There's no shiny ribbon.
Well,
there's no they're fabulously honest, loyal, and hardworking.
Well, and every day they share with me what they're wanting to share that day, because we'll do clips, we'll have everything ready to go, and then we'll write the captions, and then they send it off. And so people are getting me. It's just it's almost like I'm getting somebody who's an assistant to what we're doing on
Absolutely. Yeah.
We're not actually creating anything.
The worst day of my week is when I get the call. They're like, we're going to just shoot some reels. I'm like, no, you've been performing.
Yeah.
Being in front of a camera is nothing to me. But the second I put the camera on to shoot a reel, all of a sudden I'm speaking from Mars. I'm like, put it out. Like it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I like this authentic from the podcast and the clips of that, because that's corely who I am.
Yeah, the nitty gritty.
But when I start to tell people stuff, I'm like, why would they care? Who would care? Nobody gives a shit about,
Yeah.
It's so funny. But I mean, we grew up in a time where there wasn't that pressure.
No, there wasn't. And we grew up, I grew up roughneck. I grew up honky-tonkin', and I grew up, I remember being in clubs where the Blues Brothers had the chicken wire and the
Absolutely.
things. I was in those bars. And the thing was, those bars might have been crazy dangerous to an adult.
Oh,
as a
totally.
Kid, everybody it was like the protectors to me. I never felt more safe around a bunch of bikers.
Amen, because they'll protect you.
Cowboys.
Absolutely. Bikers and cowboys.
Yeah, honky-tonk. And so that was, I feel like for me as an adult, going into my adulthood, and even as a kid, I related more to people who were 40 years old when I was 15, because that's who I spent my time with.
And you're an old soul. You can just tell. I can tell you're an old soul. You're a salt of the earth kind of guy, and
I appreciate that.
And it is a thank you for saying that. It's an amazing compliment to tell somebody, to have somebody who I can tell like is speaking from their heart and
Yeah.
their experience is such an amazing thing to have.
Well, I appreciate
I
that.
mean, it really is. And you're hooked up with the best.
Yeah,
and
well, and I got to give a shout out to, while I'm on here, to Truck Central LLC, the Bloss family.
Okay.
They're one of our major sponsors. They own a
Love
trucking
it.
company in Missouri.
We love a
And,
good sponsor will make your.
Well, without my sponsors and without the people that work with us, the team that we built, I can't do this.
Truthfully.
You just can't do anything on your own.
You cannot.
You can
I
have
don't
a
even
lot of
try.
ideas. You can have a lot of ideas. A lot of
I can't be
accomplishment,
good at
but-
everything.
No, but it's tough.
It
sometimes.
is. I know.
But it's one of those things where, I think people, if they just realized that the secret to life is each other. The
And-
secret
right.
to life is relationships.
Treat people right.
We would have
Nothing.
We would have so much more success as individuals.
Absolutely.
Because once you start becoming the individual and you think that you're going to do it all on your own and that you're entitled and this and that, you're going to miss out on all the opportunity of what relationships bring to the table.
Absolutely. And
You know?
I just think, the show's called Happy Hour Dead, but I'm like, this is not my show. I'm just the chick behind
This
the
is
mic.
your guys' show.
It's not. It is. It is. Hope and Mitch's
Yeah.
show and Jared's show
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Alan's show
Yeah.
and
Whoever's on
and
the next
every
podcast
artist that
show,
sits
yeah.
here.
And that's
This
opportunity.
show is for
Exactly.
you.
You provide opportunity for us. Like the most important thing now is Spotify and streaming.
Yeah. That just came
and-
out last week. All the numbers from Spotify, right?
I think so. Yeah, the wrapped and stuff.
Yeah.
But what folks don't know is like radio used to be
The way it was
the
heard.
way everything was heard. And radio is still huge, but it costs millions and millions of dollars.
Tons
to
of
be on
money.
radio.
Yep.
So if you hear a song on the radio, you got to understand that's $3 to $5 million.
It's
Nobody
ridiculously.
has that.
Have you
Nobody
shot the
has
country
that.
radio seminar? Have you been a guest there?
I've been to CRS.
Yeah.
I've done CRS for years, and I've done a lot of things. Like I've done the booking shows,
I love the
South by
CRS.
Southwest, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's
And,
amazing. I think
yeah,
I think the CRS is just like a free for all of ridiculousness.
it's just fun.
It's
just
so
fun.
the
And
energy in that is amazing.
I'm a believer in radio. Like I've been on radio, but to break a number one nowadays, you're thinking of that kind of money. Spotify and streaming is really, and social media is really how the new artists are being discovered.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
and radio used to be the only way that you had to be on radio, and this is your booking dates. This is the
Right, that's
opportunity.
where you're gonna
This
be.
Is this is you've made it kind of thing. Now it's streaming and
Yep.
social media numbers.
Yep. How
And
crazy is
so-
that for
and so,
people
yeah,
from our generation?
Yeah, and so for everybody that are fans out there listening, the best thing that you can do for your artist, the best thing you can do for me, CJ Garton, is to go look us up and give us that follow on Spotify and stream.
Yep.
Because I still sell CDs. I still sell.
Absolutely.
I'll make cassettes every now and then for fun and
Yeah.
sing those. I've got vinyl.
No
double
8-tracks
vinyls.
though. You're not popping one of those in your car, right? Remember
No.
that? I'm like, that's how you
No,
know you're
I
old.
I didn't grow up in that generation, but my grandpa and them had them, and so I got to enjoy pretty much every generation of music because I'd open up the closet in Grandpa's house and it'd be reel to reel, it'd be 8-track, it'd be vinyl, it'd
Yeah.
be CD, and so every version of music that was out was there, and so I got all these cool things to play with that fed my
I
desires.
totally think that people that didn't live in that generation miss the oh my gosh, it's coming out this and you have to go buy the record
Yeah.
and you've got the art of the I mean that's
Yeah.
your Bible, that's your profile, that's who you are.
Yeah.
And I just think that they miss out on
Well, there's a warmth to hearing something not digitally.
totally.
Like the reel to reel, the 8-track, the tape, and then the vinyl. All that had this kind of feeling
Yeah.
of like a vinyl. The thing I love about it is that's why we have the double vinyl out, and we continue to make vinyls because you can put a vinyl on and drop the needle down and close your eyes, and you can feel like
And just the
you're there.
smoothness of it
Yeah.
and it going like you
it
feel like
hits
you are in the
hertz
studio.
Just hit you different.
Totally.
Because
totally.
like I can give you a song digitally, and you're like, oh man, I love that. That's great. And you play it in your car. But then when you sit down and hear that another way,
It's
like listening
more
to
of
it
the
all over
story.
again.
You brings back the story part of country music, and I have to give you a compliment. And a lot of artists, the way that you guys support each other and that you cheer for. This is not a cutthroat industry. Like I love that everybody's like, oh my God, that's a great artist, and they're hyping each other up and they get each other's backs and they promote each other. I think that's such a beautiful thing. Like, we're all in this together.
We are.
You know?
And I mean, let's be honest. I mean, there's parts in every business. So it all depends on really who you are. And anyways, when you go into it, it's who you're going to be to others.
Absolutely.
And, you know, if you're going to be a good person, generally you're going to be a good person to
Just
others.
be a good person. It's not hard. It doesn't cost anything. Just be a good human.
And be grateful. Like, the number one thing that I learned in this business that I've watched, you know, like just being a fly on the wall, that was probably my biggest thing that I could pass down to anybody else. Don't be jaded.
Don't be jaded.
Don't become jaded. Don't feel like you entitled, like you deserve something.
Right.
Because I meet such great, talented people that have all the talent in the world, but they become jaded at what they're not succeeding doing.
Yeah.
And seeing others
focusing on the things they don't have, as opposed to the blessings they do have.
Is causing
it's
them
totally
to fail.
Totally.
And because
it's a gratitude thing.
It'll
I
eat
wake
your
up
lunch.
every morning before my feet hit the floor, and I'm like, here's what I'm grateful for. It could be like the dog made through the night without having to get my dog thinks that we just get treats all the time. Yeah. Like, you go out and pee, get a treat, you know, like consequently a little chubby.
Well, my wife has a bad habit about this. Now when she comes in the room, they instantly just jump up and take off, because it's like, oh, I get to go outside.
I know. And I work from home too.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm on the road, I work from home, and I'm like, oh, this damn dog. But it is, and if you can find gratitude before you hit the world, you have life mastered.
Yeah, and appreciation for others, because
truly,
you know, if you genuinely show enthusiasm and love for another individual,
amen,
they're going to recognize that and remember that.
Absolutely.
They need that.
Yeah.
We all do.
People
we
to
need
people.
We're
humans for a reason.
And it's so funny, because people will go online and there'll be hecklers just to heckle. I have some fans that literally, I don't think they've ever had anything good to say, but they're still always there.
They're listening.
And they're listening.
You're not even a badass until you have a hater.
Well, exactly.
You're not even a badass.
And it's so funny, though, because like the things they say are so just absolutely not accurate.
I know.
Or they're just kind of just rubbing against the grain
yeah,
thing.
Absolutely.
Where it actually helps our
I know.
numbers.
I say that all the time.
You
Somebody
know,
called me a Karen last week. I'm like, thanks for the
Yeah.
algorithm. Thanks for
good. Yeah, good publicity.
I mean, you're watching.
Bad
Like,
publicity.
how much could I annoy you if you're tuning in?
It's all publicity.
It is. And I
know?
say to people all the time, you know,
You're not famous until you've had a scandal, at least.
Absolutely.
You know?
You've had some asshole do something wrong, or some manager has done you wrong. But I think the younger generation is so sensitive to that. I'm like, you're not even a badass until somebody said something about you.
Yeah, and you got to get thick skin. You know,
you do.
Like
you do.
I have to give a shout out to also to Joe Spivey is my partner in my label. Joe's
nice.
a legend. And Joe is, I don't know if you know who Joe is, but Joe
I don't know Joe.
One of the top session musicians. And
we got to have him on. You got to come in with him.
I would love to.
You have to come in with him. We would love that.
Joe is just a wealth of knowledge and probably one of the most humble, sweetest people you've ever met.
I love that. Be humble, be hungry.
You would never imagine that he's probably one of the top world's fiddle players.
Wow.
But he's prolific on everything.
That's amazing.
You know, like when you listen to the pick and porch stuff on the record that's out, and you hear the basic pick and porch thing, Joe is playing literally every instrument.
Wow.
That's me and Joe.
He's talented. You're both very, very talented.
And so, he's, I mean, like, have you ever heard, you know John Anderson?
Yeah.
He toured with John for 20 years.
Wow.
As his fiddle player. But he also, when you listen to Seminole Wind, that's Joe on the fiddle.
Wow.
I mean, he has this amazing way of stepping out of who he is as a player and becoming who you need him to be.
That's incredible. And, what an incredible, and you're in a label with him together.
Yeah, me and him partnered. We have G-Bar Records, and we got Truck Central LLC is one of our major sponsors. My wife plays fiddle for me on the road.
I love that.
And she plays 7-string fiddle on the road with me, so I'm surrounded by fiddle players.
That's amazing. Well, they're highly talented. I mean, if you can play the fiddle, you're extremely talented.
You know, I did get at a point, you know, before I started my label, I'd been on several labels and just kind of been run through the mud in this town, and I was like, man, I'm just not happy, because even though I was signed or I was doing this, I was doing that, I didn't really feel like I had the control for my creativity.
Right.
And all the empty promises just eventually just overwhelmed me.
Well, where there's golden sunshine, there's also darkness.
It's like people handing you gold bars that could be valuable and then throwing you in the ocean.
I know.
And it's like you're drowning. You just have to let go of all those opportunities that are drowning, killing you.
Absolutely.
So you can find true opportunities that have
That
reality
is such
to
a
'em.
the way you just said that. For everybody young that is watching the show and everybody that's young that's been on this show, remember that.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a grind, and you'll find your people.
You will.
You
will,
even
but you
when
don't
I
have to,
coach,
you don't have
when-
to drown for potential.
You don't.
You know,
don't.
For what might be. It's like
What
it's
might
like people
be?
say, hey,
Because
we're
there's a
gonna-
door. Your door
Yeah.
is coming. Just be
Yeah.
patient with the door.
Yeah, it's the same thing as like, hey, we're gonna give you this show and you're gonna open for so and so. It's exposure. I'm like, I don't need that. I can die from exposure. I said,
Right.
You need to get
I
paid.
could die from
this
exposure.
Is
I
a
might die from-
business.
It is a business.
And I said, and you're getting paid. They're getting paid. The vendors are getting paid.
Right.
The fans are paying you guys, so
Right.
we deserve to get paid.
Absolutely,
You know?
you
And
deserve to get paid.
That's really, and it's just part of the job. It's not even an entitlement. It's
Right.
just like, hey,
you gotta.
we're
Why would
offering
you
it.
work if you
Yeah.
have bills to pay? You have children to
Yeah.
feed. You have.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
offering a job, so it's so funny because when those opportunities show up, you just got to value yourself before anybody else will.
Absolutely.
And that's really, for me, whenever I met Joe, he was a breath of fresh air. He was nothing like what I'd experienced. He let me be me.
I love that.
He's helped me, mature and get back to the roots where I came from.
That's
make the music
beautiful.
I want to make.
Yep.
And then also
That's
be,
why you do it.
well,
This is
also
why
be a
we get
brother,
up.
because
Yeah.
you want a relationship. You want a partner,
Absolutely.
a friend,
And somebody you can trust, and somebody that's
he's
got your
been-
best interest at heart.
Yeah, exactly. And so even through the personal stuff, he's been there for me, and so that to me has just an overwhelming amount of value because
Absolutely.
I couldn't be where I'm at now without him and everybody around.
That's
us,
I'm telling you, that's what I say. They're like, you have your own podcast. I'm like, this isn't my podcast.
This is your
Not my podcast. I'm like, this
That's
is all
right.
their podcasts. CJ,
right.
I can't tell you what an absolute honor and pleasure it has been.
Oh.
You're gonna come back.
Absolutely.
You come back and hang out
you
with
can
us.
threaten me the good time.
Oh
How
my
dare
God!
you.
Come out and write. Come out and
Come
drink some
on.
beer with me.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we're doing it. We're doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
And Plo, no, I don't know if you've watched the show, but they're mostly the returning people.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
you build relationships
yeah.
and you know their lives and you follow their stories. I'm like,
Yeah.
I gotta have him back because I hear such good feedback. Like, wow, that CJ really taught me, and that's
Yeah.
such valuable information that you're not gonna learn it at school or anything else. So
No, it's hands-on.
It
I've
is
always
totally-
been very hands-on.
yeah, and
like-
bring your partner back. We'd love to have the both
Oh,
of you
Joe's awesome.
back. We would be
Yeah.
so honored to have
Yeah,
you
he'll
back.
be in his Liberty overalls and ready to.
Oh, do you know Big Vinny?
Oh yeah.
Oh, first of all, Vinny's one of the coolest
Vinny
guys.
was at my wedding.
Vinny rocks.
You know that?
He was at your wedding.
Yeah, Vinny was one of my first people I knew here.
We love you, Vin.
Big
we
Vin.
love you.
So
we
Big
love
Vinny,
you, Vin.
we had like this clique of like. Have you ever watched like something like The Sandlot, where all the kids are buddies, or Stand By Me? That was like our clique. When we came to town, we didn't have that. We made that pretty instantly. Before I moved to town, my uncle was at Loretta Lynn's Songwriters Festival.
Wow.
Vinny was in high school and working at Sonic. And he's like, I met this crazy guy, Big Vinny. And
Oh
Big
my
Vinny
God,
was
he's
Tom
great. The
500
overalls,
pounds.
I want to pee my pants with the
And
overalls.
so when I came to town, I met him. Then my buddy Scott Harris and a bunch of others, Matt Jones. And so we formed this kind of clique of like 5 guys that were just tackling it and struggling and working.
Yeah.
And trying to figure it out. And we eventually all started kind of finding our own paths and breaking off and doing our things, but they're still brothers.
It's
and
amazing.
Vinny was one of my groomsmen in my wedding.
Vinny is a hug and a
like
human.
Okay, so I can tell you something funny about Vinny. Vinny had never drank ever, and he don't drink now, but he told me, he said, for your wedding, he said, CJ, I'm gonna let you get me drunk.
Oh my God,
And so
I would kill to be
we
with
got-
Vinny drunk.
We got Vinny drunk.
Vinny, come on, let's go out and get some
At
beers.
my wedding, we got Big Vinny drunk for his very first time.
Oh my gosh.
And he kept looking, and we was having like this like pre-bachelor party. We're all sitting in the cabin at the lake because we got married on Smith Mountain Lake in Virginia.
Beautiful.
And he was drunk, and he was throwing back that wild turkey. He's like, "You're gonna let this guy marry your daughter? You're gonna let this guy marry your daughter? He's crazy."
Vinny rocks. He
Yeah,
is.
He's like was voted like least likely to ever get married.
Oh my
You know,
gosh.
and so, I
Vin,
was.
easy
I
on
didn't
the
know
wild
about him.
turkey.
That skinny little belt was always rowdy, always testing the boundaries, things like that.
Same. I was born in with the
honoring.
ability honoring. That's it. I can put who's better at pushing buttons
and being a skinny little kid growing up in school, you had to scrap your way through it.
Absolutely.
It wasn't an easy trip.
Absolutely. We're gonna get you a purple ribbon for that, for scrapping your way. I'm getting you two, sir. I'm gonna bring you a couple. But your wife's gonna be like, "Who's this stalking weirdo podcast lady that keeps sending ribbons to us?"
Hey, this lady's got a 12-pack and a ribbon for you, honey.
Totally. Right. And with wrapped around beer, she's a saint.
So good. I'm glad with that.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's funny how you know a lot of people.
I know so many people, and I think the universe put the right people on this show.
It's the biggest little high school you ever went to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Business. And you find your people.
Totally.
And you stick with them. My
Absolutely.
grandma always said, you don't have to burn bridges. People that don't belong in your life will burn their own.
They'll burn their own. And I can honestly tell you, and you'll know this now because we're going to be friends, like I've never left here without a friend.
Yeah.
There's always somebody who, you know what I mean? I always have somebody I can call and be like, can you, or will you come back, or will you help me co-host or whatever? And this country music industry from a girl from Philadelphia has been very good to me. Yes. And it's an honor to have you on the podcast.
Hey, thank you. I'm honored to be here, and I can't thank you and everybody else enough. I want to thank the fans out there and people listening.
Where can they find you? Where can the fans find you?
Please look up CJ Garton. The first place I would love for you guys to go is, please, if you got Spotify, Apple, iTunes, even if you say you don't do that stuff, please get on there and start listening, because I can sell you a CD one time or a vinyl record one time, and I know you love it. But when you go on there and you click the stream and you listen to our music and you share it with others, that way, then the world knows.
The world knows
that they love it.
That's it, and we can share. We can share the greatness of people.
Continue doing what we do.
Absolutely.
And so, CJ Garton, Garton. I tell people it's like Dolly Parton, except with a G.
Absolutely. Find him, follow his stuff, and I promise you, he will be back. He'll be
God
back.
Bless y'all.
He'll be back. Thank you so much. Happy holidays.
Hey, you too. Here,
thanks so much. Thanks. Yeah, it's great.